Welcome to Thrive Off the Ladder, the go-to podcast for women who took their talents outside the corporate office to build a profitable business that pays them like a CEO. Through candid conversations and wisdom sharing, we dive deep on the best strategies to do life and business off the ladder. So if you swapped office politics for running the show, you're in the right place. I'm your host, Twanna Toliver. Hi, if you're new around here, welcome to Thrive Off the Ladder, the podcast that allows women to go beyond the cubicle and off the ladder to build a business that liberates them from the status quo. I'm your host, Twanna Toliver, and today we have a special guest. Her name is Elysha Johnson. And I actually just met Elysha a couple of weeks ago. We met in a really great community that amplifies the voices of up and coming women in business and entrepreneurship. And I'm excited to have her on here because her business and what she's doing and what she values really resonates with me, and I think with you as well. So, welcome, Elysha. How are you?
Thanks, Twanna. I am great, and I'm so glad to be here.
Oh my God, I'm excited for this conversation. And her and I have spoken before, and I was like, I got to have you on the podcast. So tell us a little bit about yourself. Tell us about your business and how you got started, and how you help out entrepreneurs.
Absolutely. I am Elysha, like you said, and I own a virtual assistant agency called Open Tabs because we all have way too many open tabs. I know I'm not the only.
Open tabs in our head too, not just the.
No, whether it's in your head, on your computer, on your phone, we all have way too many open tabs. But I believe that driven business leaders can live an unapologetically productive, ambitious, and restful life with the help of a virtual assistant. My background is actually in fine dining and luxury hospitality. So, if you know anything about food service, especially back of house, it is crazy. Go, 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 go.
No, I just like to eat. It's a lot of work though.
There is so much work that goes into the food that you love to eat, especially in a fine dining environment. The pace and the environment is very unrelenting. And I eventually transitioned out of that world and was able to seamlessly transition into this world of administration. Same thing, managing details, except this time it's with founders and CEOs and other executives. And it was great until it wasn't. I burned out. We all have our burnout story. And, I needed a way for work to work for me. And so I started a virtual assistant business. I know the space very well, but from burning out, I really gained this conviction that you can build sustainably, that you can build a business that is holistic, that considers your body, your soul, your spirit, and your goals. I think oftentimes we spend most of our time thinking about our goals and we neglect us, our human side, and it's like, hello, it's the us that takes us to our goals. And so if we don't take care of our being, then it's going to make the journey a little bit harder. And for me, the way to take care of your being is through rest, and rest is not a dirty word. Rest is it's a strategy for business success. I truly believe so. Rest and delegation are huge, and I'm excited to talk about it further in this conversation.
I love that. I love how you say that rest is a strategy, right? So I do business consulting and strategy, but my background was as a high level executive assistant, and I worked with founders and startups for 20 plus years, and so I know how it is. I've seen the hustle and grind culture, and now everybody's burned out and tired in that capacity, and so now it's like it's a soft life and a soft business. And what happens? I know, in a what happens with that is that we always, every time there's some kind of like movement, sometimes I feel it always goes
Yeah, it
extra.
swings.
Yeah, it goes extra. And so
Uh-huh.
I'm a little concerned about this idea of a soft business because at the end of the day, entrepreneurship is hard. It
Mhm.
is hard, it is challenging, and it does require a lot of work.
Mhm.
So I want you to. I wrote this note here that you say. I guess this like your tagline, your motto, because I love it. It says commanding peace over the chaos in your business,
Yeah.
and that freedom is the destination.
Mhm.
And we share that. That's where we definitely are similar because the whole idea of thrive off the ladder is for you to leave when you do leave corporate America and you start your own business, for you not to take the same negative behaviors with you into your business.
Mhm.
Because it's just like you basically took that ladder and put it to another window.
Yeah, yeah, yeah. Absolutely.
And so the whole point of starting your business is the destination is freedom, is liberation, it's freedom of choice.
Mhm.
And so I want you to talk a little bit about this idea of a soft business and what that means to you.
How much time we got? Okay. Because we can be here all year long talking about this.
Because let us know how you feel about the soft business.
Let me tell you, my God, I'm not here for it entirely. Here's
Hmm.
the thing. I think that soft life, soft business, it's there's an air of build it and they will come, you
Oh,
know, of I don't really have to work. It's very loose,
mhm.
very ethereal, very feeling driven. And
Oh,
feelings are important. Feel your
yes.
feelings. The way that your body communicates, and so your body is telling you something with what you are feeling. Honor that, acknowledge it. However,
However,
there is a dance to be performed with diligence and with planning and with purpose that also includes rest. There is a way to strategically infuse rest into what you're doing so that you're able to keep your momentum through the days and the weeks that you're building. And I think that is the beauty of being in entrepreneurship, that you get to choose what your rhythms look like. You don't have to work 9 to 5 if that doesn't feel good to you.
yes.
You can work, evening hours or part-time or whatever. And also your rhythms and your flows are going to change depending on what season, whether season of business or season in life. Those things fluctuate. And so there is absolutely space to do that when you are building your own thing. Now, I think that when it comes to rest, my approach to it is, when you think about a professional athlete, right? Think of football player, basketball player. They're playing these games for a couple hours at a time, but they only have 30 seconds between plays. They are strategically pushing and then pulling back, and then pushing and then pulling back. That pulling back is your time to be restored and to regenerate your energy reserves. And I think that in entrepreneurship, we're always about the push and the push and the push and the push and the go and the achieve and the do and which is it's more than just corporate. It's societal.
Yes.
It's the culture that
It's
we
the status quo, which is that's what I'm saying. We have to be liberated from that. Yeah.
Absolutely. And, there's so much that goes into it. There are all the shoulds and the expectations that people have for you, for your business, even though they're not living your life or building your business, you know?
Yeah, I
Um,
never should my clients. I never say, "Oh, you should do this," and if I do, I stop myself. I'm like, I don't want to should you.
Yeah, no, you get to choose, and you get to choose,
Yeah.
and you get the opportunity to understand what your flow is through business building, and to move according to your flows. So, and the beauty is that with a virtual assistant, those VAs can, be opposite to you. So when you are in low energy phases during the day or in your seasons, they might be able to come up under you and, bring you up. Or if you're in high energy, you can pass on to other things, but you're still moving together and you're dancing forward closer to your goals in greater harmony with all of you.
I love that. That is so good, Alicia. of course, everything you're saying I resonate with, and it makes perfect sense. But I'm sure it makes perfect sense for the busy entrepreneur, the woman who wants it all, doing it all. How do you get your clients to delegate? Because that's the word, that's the key word here when it comes to doing this dance perfectly, or doing this dance the right way, is to delegate and to be able to work in your zone of genius, to be able to do work that is going to push your business forward. I always like to say, you should be doing, money generating activities as the entrepreneur, as the CEO of your business. You really shouldn't be doing a lot of administrative work. You may do it in the beginning of your business, but you're going to get to a place where you really need to be focused on, networking, generated income, and who do you bring in? And when you bring in someone, how do you get them? Because I've had conversations with people who actually, they have assistants and they're still doing stuff.
Yeah, yeah. I feel like sometimes people simplify delegation.
Mhm.
I actually think delegation is quite complex because one, it requires trust of the person you're delegating to. And so there is time and attention that goes towards developing the trust relationship that you have. And for some people, it's going to be instant trust, and you're just able to, someone's going to come alongside you and they can take it and run, and there's that rapport. And then other times, there's going to be a journey, and then inevitably someone's going to do something wrong or mess something up, and so that can sometimes equate to a break in trust. And so there is the fear that comes into, and the doubt, and all the voices that say, see, I could have done this myself, I shouldn't have trusted, and then you can, start to spiral. And so I think that I would like to start there, that understand that delegation is, it requires a relationship with your
Mhm.
assistant. And so understand that that's going to take some time, and that's okay. That's perfectly fine. I think it's also important to understand what needs to be delegated and why are you delegating? Are you delegating and have an assistant just because someone told you, or do you really have the realization of your worth and how precious your time is, and that there are people who do things better than you can. There
Absolutely.
are people who can, or there's the you that can only do the things that you can do. There are tasks that are of the highest and most important value that you should be doing, and anything lesser should be, let's renegotiate who needs to be doing that, you know,
Exactly.
and that with those things that maybe are kind of in the middle, maybe aren't strictly administrative, that's an opportunity to train someone, and I think that sometimes leaders, they are quick to just want to like throw things into an assistant's plate and just get things off. That is a recipe for disaster. Please don't do that.
Yeah, absolutely.
Now, there is some training that goes into, um, delegating to your assistant and say, hey, I'm going to develop you. Again, going back to time, I'm going to develop this trait in you so that you can do this, so I can focus on my zone of genius. These other things are going to be complementary to your skills and to your interests. And together, both of us doing the things that we were created to do, then we can move forward to wherever our end goal is.
I love that. No, that's great, because that is definitely this idea. Because, like you said, you either got some folks that don't want to delegate, and then you have folks that just give you everything. And
Mhm,
I've been on the receiving end, and I've seen it where somebody that was highly skilled and talented, and even the stuff that you're giving them is not really optimizing their skill set.
mhm,
And so how do you work with that? So if you have someone who wants to work with you, they need an assistant, and they start throwing out things that, like, oh, I can actually do. I can even help you with your marketing, helping you even a little bit more strategically. But you're giving me, call,
mhm.
y- your phone change, your phone plan changed or
Yeah.
something,
Yeah, yeah,
things.
yeah.
those kind of things. And I know there's like a frustration for high
Mhm,
level executive assistants who really have the ability to really be a strategic thought partner. That's
mhm,
kind of what I'm trying to say, and really do really, I was on a conversation many months ago with a gentleman who does consulting, business consulting, and he had his assistant on the call with him. And so right now we use Fathom and Otter and all of these things. And he said, I can definitely use one of those. But what she does is she actually, because she knows my business, strategically takes notes. And they, at the end of the call, she's able to say, well, this is what you need to do next.
mhm,
And which is missing from, of course, the AI tools. And
mhm,
because we get to the point like, oh, AI can do this and AI can do that, but she's really a strategic partner because she does business in his clients. And so I'm just like, how do you, navigate that? Give me like these high level tasks besides these, like, again, these tasks. And again, this dignity all work, I don't, so this is beneath me. But if you are a high level, you have a high level skill set, you want to be able to be given that kind of work. So how do you
mhm.
navigate
Yeah, great question. I think it starts with a conversation. I think
that?
most things begin with a conversation and intentional question asking. And
Mm,
I think in these conversations, um, it's worth asking the assistant, what do you like to do? What do you want to do? What is
mm,
your vision for yourself? What is your vision for the company? Because as administrative talent, we are often, we can be the flies on the wall. And
mm.
as such, we see a lot. We hear a lot.
Oh yes, I remember those days.
We know so much more than you think we know?
Absolutely.
And so asking what do you have to say about the dynamic of this organization? Where are my efficiencies and what holes need to be plugged and what can be optimized? And then asking the leader, what do you see for the assistant? What is it that you want? Because when two people are able to align their vision, that's when magic happens. Sure, absolutely, you can just offload and give them tasks, but there is something really beautiful about having two people with individual perspectives that complement each other,
Mhm.
and then they're able to dance around each other and really unpack systems and the operations of a business and come in with all kinds of various perspectives to a thing. The CEO is the visionary. They're the ones that's thinking high level, but the beauty of an assistant is that oftentimes we are shapeshifters. We can be high level right there with you. We can be visionaries with you, and then we can pull back and get also into the weeds. And so, for us being able to move through all the various parts of your business and just kind of being a mirror in on the different sides of your business, that's such an asset. And through asking very intentional questions, various things will come out as it relates to skill and purpose and vision for the role and the position. And even, I would want the leader in advance to say, what does success ultimately look like in this relationship? How
Mhm.
do you intend to grow and develop? And so this is some of the pre-work that needs to be done before you start to work with an assistant. Um, and even that I don't think is talked about enough, that there's
Yeah.
work that you have to do before you can hire an assistant. You don't
That's
just hire someone. You have to be strategic in the thinking of working with an assistant, because that is really your right hand. And so how are you going to bring this talent in and keep them, and not lose them because you're chaotic? And granted, we reign in that chaos. That's part of what we do. um, but you still have to give some thought in advance. And so having these really intentional conversations at the beginning of the relationship about where we are and where we're going helps to make sure that everyone is able to flourish in whatever seat they're sitting in.
Absolutely. That is so good. I don't want I could give we could talk all day about the experiences that I've had with on both sides of, when I was a high level executive assistant and when I've worked with clients. And actually now I prefer it and actually ask, do you have an assistant? Do you have a team? Do you have, even if it's a remote virtual assistant, because I just know it's going to be easier because I come in and help implement strategy, but it's going to be so much easier. And one of the things is that I don't want to just add more things onto the CEO's plate.
Yep.
And you have some business consultants and coaches that will give you a plan and like run with it, and then it sits there. It's pretty, and it
Yeah.
sits there, and it's never implemented. And one of the things that I like about you, you say that you're an implementer.
Mhm.
And so I'm wondering, have you ever found yourself working with an outside consult? So if you are an assistant to a CEO and they hire a business coach or consultant, have you been the third missing piece of that puzzle? Have you found yourself working in tandem with a business consultant or coach, and how that relationship was able to thrive? Do you have any experience with that?
I do. And, I think it's beautiful. Again, um, when I was as an executive assistant, I'm a shapeshifter. So I can move around, I can sit in different seats. But I also understand that I am not necessarily a coach or consultant. There are other people who have other skill sets and that the leader needs. That's why the coach or consultant was hired. And
Mhm,
so I can step back, let the coach do their thing. I'm hearing and I'm listening, but I'm also filtering what I'm hearing through what I know of the leader. So
mhm,
I know the leader's tendencies. I know that the leader gets struggles in their mental health, or I know that the leader struggles with follow up, or I know that the leader has 4 kids and is just busy in work and busy in the home, so I have additional context about the person that the leader is. And so I'm filtering what I'm hearing from the consultant through the lens of what I know of the person. And because again, thinking back to holistic building,
mhm,
I am going to be looking at whatever list the consultant gives, that all these things need to be executed. And now I am looking at the calendar of my leader and I'm saying, okay, practically, where does this stuff fit?
mhm.
What needs to
Yeah.
be rearranged so that these things can get done? And that's where I'm putting my strategic hat on. And it's like, okay, well, you know that you love to be at your kids' football practice. And so Tuesdays and Thursdays, those aren't good days. And Wednesdays, maybe let's try something new about Wednesdays so that you have more white space in order to execute these things. Or, like let's experiment and rearrange your weeks so that we can then go and implement these things. Um, and so, and then even, going back to the consultant to say, hey, this is what I've noticed from my perspective.
Yeah.
Can we go back to the drawing board? Because these things, I feel like a lot of things in life is just one massive experiment.
Oh yeah, a lot.
A lot of it is just, we're going to try this strategy. And I think sometimes we forget that these things are not set in stone. We
Mhm.
can go back to the drawing board and say, all right, redo, or what's a new approach for this?
Yeah, absolutely.
Um, And so working with an assistant who is able to say, "Hey, let's try. Let's try implementing these things in this way that considers everything else that you have to do. Let's try it for a couple weeks. Does it work? Does it not work? All right, let's rewind and reframe this part. This part kind of worked, this part kind of didn't." Again, just harmony and communication and relationship all goes into trying to optimize time and schedules and, again, unto wherever it is the leader is going.
Um, so good. So good, Elysha. So good. Yeah, I can definitely see us definitely working together with a CEO to help move their business forward and so forth. I'm wondering, this has been a great conversation, and I'm sure people are gonna be like, wait, where can I find Elysha? I need Elysha in my life. Tell the folks, let us know, are you accepting new clients? How can folks work with you? And yeah, what's new? How can they get in touch with you? Let us know.
Yes, absolutely. So you can find me online at lessopentabs.com. All of my services are there. You can access the virtual assistant services there. Everything is listed. You can also learn more about spaghetti sessions, which I absolutely love.
Wait, don't just say spaghetti. Tell us what's a spaghetti.
I love spaghetti sessions. I think they are so much fun. We all have gone through seasons where our brain is nothing more than a bowl of spaghetti. We got so much going on, and all of these thoughts and to dos and ideas and tasks are just a tangled mess. And
Mhm.
so, what we do in these sessions is we take every thought and we put it in its proper place. We meet at the virtual whiteboard and we're mind mapping. We are writing notes and we're talking things out and we're putting things in its proper place. And in less than 3 hours, you will leave with clarity and with freedom. You'll be able to exhale and you'll know exactly what you need to do and in what order. We already prioritize it. So there's not even any more additional thinking that has to be done. You can literally take that list and give it to your assistant and the assistant can execute. It leaves, no question for what trigger do I pull next? Because,
Mm.
we're all multidimensional. And so we've got a lot of things going on, both in life and in business. And I am not someone who just sticks in business. I believe in bridging the two worlds because how
Yeah.
you are in life affects how you are in business, and how you are in business affects how you are in life. And so
Absolutely.
I go into both realms as much as the client will allow us to discuss, and we detangle, and it's fun, and it's productive, and you can come back for as many spaghetti sessions as necessary because we all get ourselves retangled every now and again.
Love
And
that.
so, so you can learn more again at lessopentabs.com.
Yes, and everything will be in the show notes, and that's so good because a lot of times high level entrepreneurs, especially women, just because at the end of the day we are also caretakers as well. Whether you're caring for kids, family members, aging parents, sisters, brothers, people in the neighborhood, we're just naturally and nurturing in that way. And so there's always something going on in the back of our heads, the back of our minds when we are working. And for them to have this opportunity to have this session with you to get everything out of their head, and I just picture them being relieved and having this creative spark happen afterwards. A
Mm.
lot of times, I tell clients, when you find yourself, stagnant, or you can't make a decision. I call it decision fatigue.
Yeah,
Decision fatigue, and because you're in business and there is sometimes a need to innovate, but you can't figure out what steps to take. You just probably just need to empty your mind, empty your plate. You can't empty your plate until you empty your mind. So I love this idea of the spaghetti session. So
yeah,
cool. I'm glad you were able to let them know your new clients. These sessions are available, even if they don't go on to hire you as a virtual assistant. They can still have these sessions. So I love
absolutely.
it. That's so cool. This has been great. Thank you, Elysha. You are a gem. I can imagine working with you. I'm actually may need to book a spaghetti session
Hey,
myself.
come on, girl. We'll have a great time.
Right. If you can get into this brain and untangle everything.
It'll be good. It'll be good. Bring your water, bring your snacks, and we'll get done.
Love it. Yes, this has been great. This is a great conversation. I'm sure I'll have you on again, but because we are in this place where people are at capacity, that I like to say at capacity instead of just saying burned out. And some folks are adapting and pivoting, and there's a lot of changes going on with small businesses. People are finding themselves at this place where it's like, oh, I need to have this soft life and soft business. And I'm glad you gave your perspective on what that means. And we could still definitely do the challenging and hard work, but still make time for rest. It is strategic. I love that. Thank you for this conversation. Thank you for being a guest on the Thrive Off the Ladder podcast. And make sure that you like and subscribe to support the channel and the podcast. Thank you for being here. Until next time, see you later. Bye.